This is English shorthand dictation number 98 and the dictation speed is 160 words per minute. Ready? Start. Honorable Speaker, Sir, I thank you for giving me this opportunity. This bill is yet another quixotic adventure after the demonetization tragedy. This country has hardly survived from the demonetization adventure. Now this government wants to suffocate thousands of government agencies and NGOs which act as a conduit pipe connecting government and private agencies of the world with millions of helpless people of this country. We have to remember the fact that the NGOs and the specialized agencies reconstructed the world after the ruin caused by the World War II. The World War destroyed not only Europe, Africa and Asia, but it also affected all the continents. It destroyed lives and livelihoods of millions all over the world. It was the foreign development assistance which facilitated the reconstruction of the world. Many people tend to think that India is only a poor recipient of foreign aid, but the fact is that Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, with his egalitarian and compassionate mindset, formulated a humanitarian strategy to help other countries in distress. The foreign aid is not a new concept. Even the mighty US had been a beneficiary. It is well known that the US received help from France for surviving civil war tragedies. As far as foreign aid is concerned, India is at once a recipient and a donor. Following the 1970 UN General Assembly resolution, India, along with Australia, Japan, New Zealand, etc., donated liberally towards the ODA of the UN. Thus, it can be seen that India is not a poor recipient but a liberal donor. Now, this government is sabotaging the flow of help from other countries. The government is activated by poor vanity and partisanism. The FCRA licenses are being cancelled since they are minorities. Many of the cancellation orders do not even have a single reason. The center is making silly reasons using its agencies. Those allegations leveled by agencies are without basis and support. FCRA licenses of around 6,600 NGOs have been cancelled in the last 3 years. No one thinks about the number of families starving without jobs. These NGOs are bringing in foreign exchange into the country, which is helping the Indian economy and also providing lakhs of jobs. If there are NGOs which are involved in anti-national activities, definitely action should be taken. But many of these licenses are cancelled for mere technical reasons. It is clearly an attack on the minorities. Those small mistakes are to be corrected and these NGOs should be encouraged to bring in more foreign money into the country. It is to be noted that 99% of the people who are helped by Christian organizations and churches are not Christians but belong to other religions, and they have never been converted, and all of them have followed their original religions and beliefs. The Compassion International, a Christian charity, reportedly invests around rupees 300 crore in the country every year. The funds are used to provide education, medical aid and meals to children in need. About 1,45,000 children and their families have been affected by the decision. More than 6,000 people have lost their jobs. Another church from Kerala, which was involved in social activities, was denied the renewal of FCRA registration 4 years back. They were helping around 1 lakh children. I learnt that last month they also closed their support for the children, leaving them to starve and die. It was heartbreaking to learn about a differently abled widow committing suicide in the wake of losing her job with the child care project of Believers Eastern Church in Bihar. She left behind her 2 children who are now forced to live as orphans. More than 10,000 people have lost their jobs when the Believers Eastern Church stopped their projects. The government must know that extreme poverty and starvation still prevail in this country. The government must know that despite the passing of Right to Education Act, we have not achieved universal primary education. The government must know that millions and millions of people of this country sleep under the open sky and crores dwell in slums. We are forced to construct big walls to hide the slums from the view of visiting dignitaries. The government must know that still child mortality rates are higher in various states. It is said that this government wants to bureaucratize charity efforts without acknowledging the services which Hindu, Christian, Islamic, Sikh and other religious charity institutions have been doing to this country. By this bill, the government wants to impose a license Raj over philanthropic activities. By this amendment, the government declares an embargo against its own people. It is the first time in the history of the world that a government is declaring an embargo against its own poor people. So far, we heard of an embargo by the US against Cuba, Iraq, etc. But now this government is trying to have bureaucratic control over philanthropic and social service activities of people and organizations. Sir, Kolkata was a city of sadness. Mother Teresa transformed it into the city of joy by taking care of the lepers and the destitute. The life expectancy of the people of Kerala is on par with the people of the richest Scandinavian countries. My state has 100% literacy. Everyone knows that it was by the wisdom of the rulers who permitted the NGOs and charity institutions and organizations to accept foreign contributions, and immense progress was achieved in all sectors like education, health, etc. Sir, we have to eradicate poverty. We have to achieve universal education. We have to provide housing to millions, and as such it is not fair to bring the philanthropic activities and non-profit activities by receiving foreign aid under bureaucratic control by creating a license Raj. I would request the government not to hurry and cause another tragedy like the demonetization and to withdraw this ill-conceived amendment. Honorable Chairman, Sir, I thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak on the Foreign Contribution Regulation Amendment Bill 2020. Technically, by bringing up the FCRA bill, the government is trying to burn down the house at its own expense. The previous speaker was saying that 24,000 accounts were there. There were so many activities which were unhealthy to the nation, and it was difficult to monitor them across the country. Honorable Prime Minister is talking about Digital India. Everything is now available online in banks, and the government can sit in one single room with one single computer and monitor any number of accounts which are existing in India. With this kind of provision, the government is saying that 24,000 accounts could not be monitored. I am surprised that this kind of a statement is being made by a government which is so powerful. The government has been elected for the second time with a huge majority, and I congratulate you on that. But what is your agenda? The agenda is a Hindutva agenda where you are saying that you do not want to have any conversions to happen. Firstly, you have to understand as to why people are getting converted. The earlier speaker has said that Christians were trying to convert all the Hindus into Christians and all those things. You have to understand as to why they are getting converted. You have such a system in Hinduism where you call people Dalits. You say that they are not allowed to enter temples. They are not allowed to go into public wells where everyone is using them. When you have a problem in your own religion, why would they not leave their religion? If they have a better opportunity where they have better respect, do you not think that they have the right to go to whichever religion they feel like? This is the sentiment of the country. Let me also tell you one more point. For hundreds of years, we have been ruled by Islamic and Christian rulers. Still, about 84% of our population belongs to Hindu religion. I am speaking only on the bill. I am replying to what the previous speaker has spoken. He was talking about conversions. I am saying that in spite of centuries of rule by Islamic and Christian rulers, Hinduism is still the largest religion in India, and 84% of the population is Hindus. In fact, in one of the discussions on bills, the Honorable Minister for Home Affairs had said that in Pakistan the percentage of Hindus has come down, and so there is terrorism happening there against Hindus and they are being exterminated. It is the same over here. Our population was 92% at the time of freedom, and today we are having 84% of Hindus. The percentage has come down. What I am trying to tell you is that the number of people who are here and who are Hindus is huge, and you are trying to mobilize all those Hindus together. We have no objections to that, but I am saying that you must not forsake Dalits. When we are talking about minorities, we are not talking only about Muslims and Christians. We are also talking about Dalits. Our leader Shri Karunanidhi was very instrumental in bringing the reservation policy, and Tamil Nadu is the only state which has 69% reservation, by which all the communities are getting benefited. Tamil Nadu is standing as one of the tallest states today, and it is because of these kinds of visionary policies.